Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to Bring You Division video. Today I have something completely different for you guys. Today I actually got on some Division 1. Most of you guys in my comments have been telling me to check out this game, that this game is still popping for PvP and PvE. So today I finally got on it and I was really surprised how many players were still playing this game. How many new characters, how many new players were in the terminal just alone chilling. And even for PvE, I was able to find matches really quickly. And just in general, I was really surprised how many people were actually on. Now, the Global Event Assault is actually live for this game, so that could be a reason why so many players are back. But I started playing a little bit, started playing the Assault Global Event, and to be honest, I kind of got back into my feels, my memories of just grinding this game, and remembering the good times I had on this game. Obviously, the game wasn't perfect, obviously there was a lot of bugs and glitches, but in general, I really enjoyed this game, and I kind of got, back into that memory lane, I guess you could say. But anyway, I wanted to make a video, show you guys two builds I would 100% recommend making if you are a new player or maybe a returning player to this game. If you're going to play PvE, I have a build for you, or if you're going to play PvP, I also have a very good build for you guys as well. So listen, I understand this game is very old, it's been out for many years, but again, if you're looking for a kind of blueprint video, or maybe you are a new player / returning player and looking for something to use for PvP or PvE, I think a video like this can really help you out and kind of give you a guide of what to go for, what to make, and what to use. I actually made a similar video to this one back in January or February of this year, and a lot of you guys said it was very helpful, and I do understand Division 2 is in a pretty kind of stale spot right now, so some of you guys might be coming back to the Division 1 to again play the global events, or just kind of play Division 1 to kind of refresh your memory and stuff. So if you're looking for a PvP build or PvE build, this video is for you. Alright, so the first build I do want to show you guys is my PvE build, and I'll be honest, I've been using the same PvE build for many patches on this game, and I do think this build is still a top tier build for PvE to this date. It's a really good damage build, also a very good survivability build, and just overall, it's a balanced build if you're playing solo incursions or solo heroic missions or just grinding for gear, whatever the case is. So the first thing is the weapon. I'm actually using the Lightweight M4 with Destructive, Unforgiving, and Predatory. Predatory, very important for PvE still up to this date. If you're not using Predatory for PvE, you're really missing out on a lot of healing. For the attachments, I'm using magazine size, critical hit chance, critical hit damage for the mag. Then I'm also using headshot damage for the scope, the suppressor, and then on the underbarrel, I'm using critical hit damage. I did go with headshot damage because I am using striker, so it gives me a little bit more stability. If you're not comfortable using headshot damage, if you want to go for body shots and stuff, especially if you are playing on consoles, you can swap that out for critical hit damage. It is personal preference. For the secondary, I'm actually using the Showstopper. The Showstopper, once again, is very good for a striker build because it's easier to stack your shots and it's going to give you a little bit more damage kind of up close if you're fighting a boss or a kind of tanky enemy. Those Showstopper is just really good paired up with striker, so that's the reason why. I'm also using Responsive, Destructive on it, and the Showstopper Exotic Talent, and I'm also spec'd with critical hit damage for the attachments. Now moving on to the actual gear, so what I'm using is a 3-piece striker with a Ninja Bike backpack, 1-piece nomad, and a 1-piece tactician. Now you will see all my gear is classified, but don't worry if you don't have classified gear, it is okay. I've been playing this game for many years, so that is the reason why all my gear is classified. And also, if you don't have a Ninja Bike backpack, you can still make this build. You could use something like a 4-piece striker, 2-piece nomad, and your build will be still very similar to this one. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as if you were to use a Ninja Bike backpack, but again, if you don't have this exotic, you could still make this build for PvE. Alright, so for the chest piece, the first thing I'm using is a striker chest piece with stamina. I'm also using a health roll with enemy armor damage, ammo capacity, and I'm using 2 stamina and 4% damage to elites mod. Moving down for the mask, I have firearms, enemy armor damage, damage to elites, and then for the mods, I'm actually using another stamina and 4% damage to elites mod. You get these mods by buying them from the vendor. You can't unfortunately find them in caches or the open world, which kind of sucks, but you can buy them from vendors. They are usually for sale quite often. So if you're missing these mods, you can check them out from vendors, and hopefully they are for sale, that week. For the knee pads, I'm using a firearms roll with health, increased kill XP, bleed resistance, damage to leads, and I'm also using a stamina 4% with a 6% first aid self-heal mod. Now that is my striker setup right there, and you guys can see I have 3 striker, but with the Ninja Rag backpack, the 4-step bonus actually unlocks, which is where your damage is going to be kind of coming from, and this is pretty much the bread and butter of this build. For the backpack, again, Ninja Rag backpack with stamina, health, burn resistance, and then stamina and damage to leads with 2 first aid self-heal mods. Now for the gloves, I'm actually using a one-piece nomad with firearms, assault rifle damage, enemy armor damage, critical hit damage, and the reason why I'm using one-piece nomad is for the 15% health on kill. So anytime you kill an NPC, you will automatically get 15% health on kill back to your health bar. So really, really good, especially if you don't have your heals active or medkits or whatever. As long as you just kill enemies and melt them really quickly, which you will if you have your striker stacked to like at least 30 or 40, something like that, you will be melting the NPCs really quickly. And again, the striker and just health and kill kind of go together, so that's why I'm using it. And for the holster, I'm using a tactician holster with 7% skill haste, and the reason why I have this one is for the extra 15% skill haste from the 2-step bonus. And for PvE, having a little bit of skill haste is always smart, so you can get your heals a little bit quicker, especially if you're solo and you're doing something a little bit more challenging. Having skill haste, you're going to get your heals back, you're going to get your skills faster, so that will always kind of help you out. Now moving on to my abilities, I'm actually using a overdose as my first aid. This is for the healing. I don't really get that much healing, I only get about 81,000, but 81,000 is better than nothing. And I'm also using the immune station, which I can use to kind of put down, sit in it, or I could use it as extra healing kind of item. And then for the talents, I'm using adrenaline, critical save, strike back, and on the move. So yeah, this is the PvE build I would 100% recommend making. Again, if you don't have this specific gear like the Ninja Rag backpack or whatever, try grinding for it, but if you don't have it, if you can't get lucky, just use something like a 4-piece striker, 2-piece nomad, and you can make this build pretty much right away. Alright, now the next thing I do want to show you guys is my PvP build, and this is more of a kind of overall PvP build for Last Stand, Skirmish, or even the Dark Zone. If you guys want to see a more specific build for the Dark Zone, I will have some videos linked in the description if you are still looking to make a really good Dark Zone build. But overall, if you're just looking for a PvP build, this is something that is very, very good, and I'm sure most of you guys are already familiar with this build, with the Skull MC gloves, and just how this kind of works. So what I'm actually using is, as my primary, I'm using a house with responsive, unforgiving, and obviously the card counter talent. I'm spec'd everything into critical hit damage and critical hit chance for the attachments. For the secondary, I'm using the lightweight M4 with predatory, vicious, and responsive. This is pretty much my backup, or if I'm roaming and trying to kill some NPCs, I'll most likely use this one for the extra range. But yeah, moving on to the gear, so the first thing I'll go over is my chest piece. So I'm actually using a Barrett's Bulletproof Vest. This is coming with firearms, skill haste, health, and I'm actually using 2 electronics and skill haste mods. This build is really focusing on skill haste and just damage in general. So you can see the firearms, stamina, and electronics are pretty much balanced out. And this build overall is just kind of a hybrid build that will give you really good heals, but it's also going to give you a lot of damage and some really good toughness if you're playing Last Stand or even Dark Zone. But yeah, I'm using that chest piece. You can also use something like a vigorous chest piece if you want, if you have that chest piece. If not, just go with this one. This will give you extra skill power and also weapon damage, which is always nice. For the mask, I'm using a refreshed mask, probably the best mask in the division, period, which is always really, really good to have for PvP, for PvE, a refreshed mask. So yeah, I'm using this one with critical hit chance, burn resistance. I also have firearms on this one, and again, I'm using a electronics and skill haste mod. Next up for the knee pads, I'm using some Banshee knee pads, and to be honest, there's no specific reason why they're Banshee. I'm just using them because the attributes are really high on them and they're pretty much perfect for this build. But I do have 1401 firearms, critical hit damage of 8%, and I'm also using disorient resistance, disrupt resistance, and shock resistance. And again, I'm also using a electronic skill haste mod with a 6% first aid self-heal. Again, they are Banshee, they don't have to be Banshee, nothing like that. The only reason why I'm using them is for the attributes. For the backpack, I'm using a specialized backpack with stamina, health, and bleed resistance, with the same mods I've been using pretty much on everything. Moving down, I am using the Skull MC gloves, and I'll be honest with you guys, these gloves will be a little bit challenging to find, but if you can get lucky and find them from a mission or maybe open them from a cache or something like that, once you get them, use them 100%. They are still very, very good, although they got nerfed a lot of times in the past. They are still very good if you're not using any kind of gear set bonuses towards your advantage. If you're not, use these gloves and it's going to give you 16% extra damage on whatever kind of weapon you're using. But I'm using these with stamina, SMG damage, skill haste, and also critical hit damage. And lastly, for the holster, I'm using Tactician once again. I'm using this one because all my stats are pretty much maxed out, and that is the reason why. And then for the mod, I'm using a 6% first aid self-heal. So yeah, this is the PvP build. Also really quickly for the attributes or the abilities, I want to show you I'm using the Overdose once again for my heal, a immune station, and then for the talents we have Adrenaline, Critical Save, Strike Back, and Precision. But yeah, these are the two builds I would recommend making if you are coming back to the game or if you are a new player. Try using this video as a blueprint or a guide of what to get, what to use. Again, for PvP or PvE, both these builds are very, very good. If you want to see a specific Dark Zone build that's really good for damage or survivability, I would recommend checking out the description below. I'll have more kind of build videos over there. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching the video. Again, wasn't really planning on making this one, but I kind of got on and I was like, you know what, might as well just make a kind of build video for anyone that's kind of coming back or is new to the game, stuff like that. So I hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my videos, and also if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.